All right, welcome back, folks. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. It was like this is the second time in a week I've started a video and it's like stopped after 5 seconds. So I need to like kind of monitor this and make sure everything is going. It looks like we are live and kicking here. All right. So I'm just gonna wait for a second and make sure that we are live and rocking here. Let me turn that off. And it appears like that we are live and rocking here in the video. It was weird. It went on for 5 seconds and then it just stopped. Anyway, just wanted to update you on the original video streaming list. All right. I just wanted to update you on the GameStop situation. We did have earnings yesterday. If you're following that, you knew that. We missed earnings by a penny. And the stock initially on earnings kind of rallied a little bit and then it head faked lower. I'm just monitoring to see if we are up here. It looks like we're going. If you're in the chat, can you hear me? Can people see me? Let's see. Are we Are we there? Is anybody out there? All right. GameStop announced earnings yesterday. Their earnings was $134 per share, expected $135, and initially the stock rallied. If I pull up the chart here, we can take a quick look at it. Hello, Wise Owl. Nice to see you. Yeah, it was weird. The thing, it broadcast for 5 seconds and then it stopped the last time I tried to make this video. So I'm glad that we are live. Let's take a quick look at the chart here. And we can see after the close, earnings came out at 4, and then there was a conference call at 5. And interestingly, it was very hard to get on this conference call. In fact, one of the CNBC anchors was unable to get on the call just because of the overwhelming interest in this stock due to those folks from Reddit and Wall Street Bets and whatnot. So as happens a lot of times with earnings, we had a head fake where the stock moved higher, but then once the conference call started, things moved precipitously lower, bouncing off a low of $150 shortly before we halted for the evening. In fact, right at 8 o'clock, we hit 150 for a second. Now, I would say the sell-off is due a lot to the announcement that they are going to try to make some sort of secondary offering. Now, when you have a company and their stock starts to move way higher like this, remember, companies make money from the initial offering of their stock. So whatever they initially sell their stock for, that's where they make the bulk of their money by listing a stock on the New York Stock Exchange. And when you've got a situation like GameStop where this stock was down to $2 and all of a sudden it rallies up to over $200, the company wants to somehow monetize that move up, right? Everybody who's long the stock is making money, but unless some companies do hold on to some shares of their own stock or buy back some shares, and certainly some of the executives might own shares, but in general, a company makes the bulk of the money from their initial public offering. So in this case, people want to, the company wants to kind of capitalize on this up move in the stock, and certainly in the case of GameStop, I'm thinking that they might think, well, it's not going to last forever being at these high prices. And so they did announce during the conference call that they would sell some additional shares. Now, this is thought of as, companies want to be careful the way they do this because as soon as they make that announcement, generally stocks go lower. It's called a dilutionary event, right? So the more shares you have, the less each share is really worth. And thus, they want to make the announcement with as little fanfare as possible so that people don't get spooked by it. But in this case, we have seen the stock move lower overnight. Now, this was good for the position that we have on here. I did adjust my position yesterday during the day to make it a little bit more extreme short. And what I did was I sold the April 85.95. The 16 April 85.90 call spread. So if we look at that call spread, that's a $5 call spread. So the most it could be worth is $5. And I did sell it for $1.80. $1.80 something. Let's take a look. I believe I sold it for $1.83. And so 10 times $1.83 is $1,830. So if GME is below 185 in 23 days, the position will make $1,800. So I sold this call spread when the stock was around 190. We did drop about $9 before the close, and so as we were at the lows of the day, I did try to sell some put spreads against this to lock in a nice trade, and it only turned out that I sold 2 put spreads against the 10 call spreads I sold, but regardless, I was in a nice position being short deltas coming into their earnings. And, these put spreads that I sold, the 90-95 put spread, I sold those at around $1.45. So if we were to just cruise straight through $90, that wouldn't be great for us. But with the stock sitting here, currently we're down about $23. We're looking like we're going to open down $23. So that would be pretty much the perfect place for this stock to hang out for the next couple weeks for me. So this position is going to work out great. I'm hopeful that this is the end of my losing streak, which I've been on for about a few weeks now, and that things start to work out better for the position here. A couple companies came out and downgraded GameStop. It's funny. Companies will come out, it's like after the fact. If a stock goes up a lot, all of a sudden the companies will come out and say, we're upgrading the stock. It's like, well, gee, thanks, now that it moved up. And with GameStop moving down, a couple of companies downgraded. It's like, well, thanks a lot. They after the fact, they changed their ratings, like, oh, we knew it the whole time. We just couldn't tell you until after it happened. But I know this is going to be a painful situation for a lot of people who have been sort of buying into the hype about this stock. If you look on StockTwits, you're going to see people saying, well, it's just going to pull back a little bit, and then next week it's going to $6,000 or $5,000. This stock is not going to $6,000. It was an extraordinary situation with the short squeeze, with a ton of short interest that got us to $500. But most of that short position has been unwound at this point, and thus there's just not like the coiled up potential for us to have another move to 500 here. The newbie people a lot of the newbie Wall Street Bets people that are trading this you're gonna read some, really extraordinary posts in StockTwits about this, but it's time to come back to reality for some of these people. I think they're off in outer space. So let's check this out. And let's look together at some of what people are saying in StockTwits about this particular issue here. And let me get out of the way once again as we do that. And of course, now that it's down, when you look at sentiment, okay, now everybody's bearish now that it's down, right? So when it's going up, you're going to see all the people that say that are bullish posting. Now that it's going down, you're going to see all the people that are bearish posting saying, "We told you so." The whole StockTwits thing is a little disingenuous. It's like when it goes down, all these people come on and say, "You should have listened to me. I told you so." When it goes up, a bunch of people say, "You should have listened to me. I told you so." And all these people saying it's obvious that it was going to go down. Of course, it wasn't obvious to them before earnings. GME, mass potential. I did see some of these things yesterday saying, well, this is the best buying opportunity of all time. My opinion on this continues to be that we're going to continue to grind lower as less and less people are interested in this and people move on to the next big thing. This is going to grind lower, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see what happens, though. I was posting on Twitter. Since we've got the internet up here, let's look at Twitter real quickly. I was posting on Twitter about the split coming up in UVXY, and some guy was saying, responded to that. You know, these guys with the whole like diamond hands guys are seeping into every part of the stock market world. So I was talking about how UVXY is down to $6. Usually when it gets to $6, they announce a split. Well, this guy writes back, "It's not going to reverse split. You guys are a bunch of FUD idiots. The thing is shooting up. The markets are about to correct. Major, quit spreading misinformation." So this guy saying I'm spreading misinformation, that UVXY is going to reverse split. Even though historically every time it's gotten to $6, they have reverse split it. You know, the math with UVXY leads us to believe that it's inevitable that these continue to split because we spend more time in contango on our chart than we do in backwardation, and thus mathematically UVXY does go down over time no matter what. Right now at 9% contango, essentially just the simplest way of looking at that would be if we stay at 9% contango over a month, this is decaying by somewhere around 9% per month. So you can't have a chart of this going up if it's decaying by 9% a month. That is all things being equal. Now, yes, the VIX goes up and down, and you certainly can make money being long UVXY if you time it right. But over the long period of time, this goes lower due to decay. In fact, if we pull up a chart, I can prove that to you. Or I can't prove what's going to happen in the future, but I can show you what's happened in the past by looking at a UVXY chart here. And if we do go to a 3-year chart, it has a little bump in the road there up to 135, but you can see us trending lower with some, of course, there's been that was a huge spike there, but you can see us just slowly trending lower. And like I said, if you timed it correctly, if you timed that spike, you could have made a lot of money, or this spike here, but it's a lot harder to time these little spikes than to just be short and hang out and have it slowly move lower. So that's kind of where we are with UVXY. So the position I have in GME, if things go well, the stock stays in between 85 and 90, it will almost double the account value. So good results so far in GameStop for the account. Maybe the losing streak is over for this account for the time being. We'll have to see what happens moving forward. AMC continues to move a little lower. If you look at the chart of GME, you can see this is the 3-year chart, but if you just widen it a little bit, you can see huge spike, secondary spike, and I anticipate this slowly getting less exciting. Maybe, a down move, and then maybe we get a third spike, but not as big as the first two, and maybe a fourth spike, not as big as any of those, and we just slowly kind of move down lower, and after that, nobody knows what's going to happen, but for the time being, I just see this kind of grinding lower as people sort of lose interest in it. And as we speak, GME trading 156. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'm glad that this is actually working, because before it only recorded for 5 seconds and then it just stopped. So happy to see you all in the chat. Please like and subscribe, and best of luck wherever your trading journey takes you today. And I will check you out next time on the Short Vol Show Live when we go back to probably a VXX position.